Hey guys, Michelle Martin here with Ag on Wheels, and today we find ourselves in Mount Olive, North Carolina. I finally made it out of Texas. It's been a while, and we're with Reggie Strickland of Strickland Farming Group, and Reggie's going to tell us a little bit about what he grows.
We grow corn, soybeans, tobacco, sweet potatoes, pickled cucumbers, and also raise hogs and turkeys.
He farms so much and is so involved in agriculture that we're going to have to come back and do a second episode. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right, well, let's get started and try to cover as much as we can today. Are you ready?
We'll do it.
Let's go. Reggie, before we head on out to the field to see your wide array of crops, tell me a little bit about what got you involved into farming.
Yeah, my family's done it for generations. I'm actually the 7th generation here, so we've been here since the mid-1800s.
So you're lucky number 7.
Yeah, so far.
All right, and we hope to keep it that way. We know that behind every great farmer is a great support team. Tell us a little bit about your history.
It's actually my mother's family and my father's family farmed. So when I was growing up, I actually followed my mother's father around. But I learned a lot, good and bad, along the way.
And I think that's important, is seeing the good and the bad, because farming is not always good. It's not just planting that seed in the ground.
That's exactly right.
Which we're about to see, right?
For sure.
With farming getting tougher and tougher to do, and we're seeing less and less farmers as the days and years go by, what motivates you to get out of bed and to continue farming?
As I said earlier, I'm the 7th generation, so the family legacy, the history that we have here, tradition, all those things is what keeps me going and motivated every day.
What is one valuable lesson that your grandfather taught you on the farm that just stuck with you?
Hard work. It may not pay today, but continue.
So hard work. I mean, I think we need more hard work in this world.
Yeah, that's for sure. We don't have enough of it today.
And I think too that a common misconception when it comes to growers in the world of agriculture is that things are just easy to grow and just applied to the world, but there's so many moving pieces to that, which we're going to see today. So
that's correct.
I can't tell you how excited I am because I'm actually standing in a field of one of my favorite foods, and that's sweet potatoes. Tell me a little bit about the sweet potato when it comes to the plant and the harvest and some of the challenges that you face.
We actually take the potatoes like you see in the grocery store, and we put them in the soil in a bed and cover them with plastic, and that's where they'll start sprouting. And that's where we actually cut the plants that we bring to the field to transplant into the field.
So they're transplanted, it's not a direct seed?
That's correct. The seed is actually that potato that you see in the grocery store.
Okay.
So that's what we use to put in the soil for the sprouts to come to the field.
Okay, so you're telling me that like the whole sweet potato I see in a bin at a store goes into this ground?
Correct.
And it sprouts?
That's right, it absorbs moisture and sprouts, and then we have to literally go in the field with a knife and cut the sprout, and that's what we transplant into the field. We cut the sprout because it prevents some disease issues that we may have coming into the field.
And how long after that is this potato in the ground until harvest?
Approximately 100 days, 100 to 110 days.
It's a long time for a little potato.
Yes, it is.
Every crop grown has its own challenges, as we very well know. What challenges do you face with the sweet potato, and what do you do to correct it?
Sweet potatoes being a root crop, which when I say that means the potato is the actual root, and that's what we're harvesting. Most of the issues we have are soil-borne diseases and pathogens that come out of the soil that affect the potatoes. So we're using a product called Miravis Top to help protect us from a disease called black rot, which is a fungus, something that's in the soil naturally that transfers into that potato and creates issues with storage.
All right, so it's pretty extremely hot out here. How do the sweet potatoes do in extreme conditions?
They're very tough and very resilient.
They're pretty resilient and tough, just like Miravis Top, huh? It's built tougher than the conditions we're in.
That's right.
I'm not that tough, guys. It's hot. But what I want to know is, how do you keep your plants healthy when it comes to water? Are you irrigated?
No, most of sweet potatoes grown in North Carolina are non-irrigated. We're on sandy soils, but that's what sweet potatoes like. It's a tropical plant, so they're used to heat and drier weather and dry conditions, so they can produce well in drier soils.
So basically what you're telling me is that with this sandy soil, if it rains and there's a puddle, you got a homemade beach with a snack.
That's right.
A healthy snack. What kind of pest likes sweet potatoes?
The biggest pest that we fight is actually deer, but outside of the deer is a wireworm. It's actually something, again, that's in the soil that penetrates the potato itself, just makes little pinholes in the potato. So to create decay and other issues in that area, which makes the potato itself unmarketable.
All right, Reggie, so you were talking a little bit about the challenges and diseases that you face in sweet potatoes. Are those challenges the same that you face here in these soybeans? And does Mireless Top work for that as well?
In the foliar diseases, we typically have frog eye leaf spot, purple seed stain, rust is sometimes the issue. We're only 60 miles from the ocean. We have a lot of high humidity. The product we use to help prevent this is Mireless Top. It's a great product, works well for us. It helps our plant stay much healthier, which allows us to have a better product and a better yielding soybean.
Farmers are becoming less and less as the days go by. But for someone who's looking into getting into farming or carrying on their family farm, what piece of advice would you give them?
Get a good education, networking, that's what it's all about. The more people you can meet, the more friends and contacts you can make, because we're in a large industry, but there's a small number of us, and you need to network and meet as many people as possible and keep that network together, because you're going to need people you can lean on and experts in the field. It's always good to have them in your phone.
Just like your Syngenta rep, because now you don't have rot.
That's correct.
Just like me, I just met him and now he's going to be a friend for life. So it all comes full circle.
That's for sure.
Circle of Ag sticks together. Reggie, we're standing in what I've been calling a pickle field, but it's a cucumber field. Tell the viewers at home, how long is it from plant to harvest?
From plant to harvest is about 45 days.
And so it's not like your typical corn crop where you just harvest and you're done. You actually get several cuts off of this field, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, we'll harvest 7 to 12 times in each field, just depending on disease pressures and what kind of growing season we've had.
And what kind of disease do you face?
Most of it is fungal diseases, leaf disease, and then there is some diseases that affect the pickle cucumber itself. But most of it is leaf disease, as you can see on this leaf here. That's downy mildew, what's called downy mildew. And there's really nothing we can do to prevent it from coming here. I mean, just weather is what causes it, but we use fungicides to help prevent it from spreading. And that's Rhonda Sopti is the name of the product. This is an older leaf, and it shows the disease pressure. A newer leaf here, see, there's no disease. It's perfectly healthy.
Seems like disease pressure is just the gift that keeps on giving.
Certainly does.
All right, Reggie, you are a man of many crops. I don't know that I can keep up with you, but we are in a what kind of field now?
Tobacco field.
We're in a tobacco field. Okay, tell the viewers at home a little bit about growing tobacco from plant to harvest. What does our days look like?
We use seed that we grow in a greenhouse, and we plant those in the greenhouse in February.
And once they're in the field, is this an irrigated field or is this dry land?
We're standing in an irrigated field.
Okay.
So we have both. We irrigate and non-irrigated. Tobacco's a lot more forgiving than some other crops.
So it's a little drought resistant.
That's right.
When it comes to the harvest that we're talking about, it's hand harvested, just like the vegetables back home where I'm from.
There is machine harvested tobacco, but we use hand harvest because we have the labor here for our other vegetable crops, and we prefer hand harvested tobacco.
All right, Reggie, so I said that this is tobacco country, but give me a little history on the tobacco plant in this region.
We're growing flue-cured tobacco, and 90% of that crop is grown within a 60-mile radius of here. And it started years ago when the Indians came, actually, was when tobacco was introduced to this state. Durham, the city of Durham, where Duke University, Duke Hospital is located, it was built on tobacco. And most of eastern North Carolina farms exist today because of a small tobacco allotment that was started 100 years ago. And that's what educated most of my family prior to my generation. Tobacco is what built our farm and educated our kids.
All right, guys, so as you've seen from just this short time that we've been here, that Reggie the farmer and farmers in general, it's more than just them. It's their team, from their Syngenta reps to their farm hands to their families at home. So from the bottom of my heart, and I'm sure the viewers at home as well, thank you so much for opening up your world.
Thank you, Michelle, for being here today.
It has been a great time. We've had a lot of fun. I'm just boggled by how much you do. So thank you so much again for your hard work. Where will I be next? We're coming back here. We'll see you guys next time. God bless.